Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for this day. Thank you for everything that you do and everything that you've done. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to learn, to grow, to gain wisdom, to deepen our understanding. I pray that today in this time that we have, you help us to be wiser and help us to understand how to love and what love is. Lord, I just pray that your love comes through us, and I pray that the love that you have allowed us to share with others, it just shows up in every part of our lives. I pray that it just exudes in every relationship, every conversation, every interaction that we have. Lord, I just pray that you give me the wisdom to speak to your people in a way that serves them and pleases you. Pray that you think through me and speak through me today, and I pray this in Jesus' name. Amen. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of A King's Journal. My name is Martell, and today I just want to talk about my mom. I just really want to talk about my mom a little bit. So now, but just disclaimer. I want to talk about my mom in this episode, and there's going to be a lot of things that have to do with parenting and the way that I was raised or brought up that obviously was a team effort, but I'm specifically highlighting my mom's role in it. That does not mean that my dad was not there. He still is, but I'm specifically talking about my mom. So, and he'll definitely get his episode later on, trust. So, first off, I just want to say, just disclaimer, for those who don't know me, that don't know my family, that don't know my mom is not your average lady. She's not your average, soccer mom, because none of us played soccer. But she's a person she's one of those types of people who's going to tell you exactly how she feels about whatever the thing is that is happening at that moment, exactly the way she feels like it needs to be said. And she's not about to pull back many punches. Like, she actually, as of recently, I've seen some punch pulling, but she's gonna let you know. She's gonna let you know exactly how she feels about you, right then and there in your face. And if you're doing something wrong, she's gonna tell you that it's wrong. Now, I'm not saying that she's one of those people who's just gonna pop off every time, but if it's business, if it's structure, if it's process, if she is in management and you doing something that ain't right, she about to let you know about it. That's what kind of mom I have, okay? And me, now let's flip it over a little bit. Me growing up, and I know this is going to be a shocker, absolute shocker. Nobody's going to believe this, but please just bear with me here. I was not I was not that great of a child, okay? I mean, I was just absolutely messing stuff up left and right. Like, when I was a kid, actually, let's go to elementary school, and I think this is going to let you know pretty much how the story went. In elementary school, I went to Gill Elementary School, and this is in Farmington Hills, Michigan. And we had actually moved to this area. So we were in West Bloomfield. We had been in Romulus, Canton. We've been all these different places. And then we ended up landing in Farmington Hills. And that's where I went to elementary school for the longest. And so at this school, I had gotten in trouble so many times that the people there, the office people, they no longer had any sort of process for how to deal with me. Perfect example is there was Heelys came out. If anybody's around my age, you know what Heelys are, and you probably had some if you enjoyed your childhood, okay? So Heelys came out. Obviously, I wanted them. Like, there was just no chance that in the world that I wasn't going to ask all the time for these shoes. And by the way, the shoes they're like skate shoes, but then you put a wheel in the back of them, like on your heel, and then you can flip up the front of your feet, and then you could roll. And so I asked for these shoes. I finally got these shoes, and the school, apparently they knew immediately when the commercial came out that they needed to put something in place so that the kids weren't rolling through the hallways. So when Heelys came out, I got some Heelys. The school came out with a rule saying, do not bring your wheels to school. If you have Heelys, you can bring the shoe, but not the wheel. We don't want a single student wheeling, skating down these hallways. And the crazy thing about it is this school also had like the greatest and longest ramp right in the middle of it. It went past the office, and the office has a window, but there's a ramp that goes, and there's a ramp in an extremely long hallway. It's just, they were set up for us to skate in this building, like they literally were. And so I got my Heelys, and knowing the rule, I decided that I was gonna put my wheels into my backpack, and while I'm in class, I'm going to find my opportunity to go through these hallways as fast as I possibly can. So I would like raise my hand and then go out in the hallway, take my wheels, put my wheels on, and then my whole thing was, I don't need to go to the bathroom or anything. I might still go to the bathroom, but my whole thing was I need to get to the opposite side of the building, and I need to come back. I need to skate all the way there, and I need to skate back. And then my time in the hallway will have been completed. So just imagine this. So raise my hand, go out, get myself ready, strap the shoes in, put the wheels in the back of them. And then you see, maybe you're in a different class, you see this kid fly down the hallway, up the ramp, down the ramp, up the ramp again to the other side, and then come back. And then I get back to the classroom, take him off, and then act like everything is normal. And so this was me in elementary school. And, just a bunch of instances of things like that, one after the next. The teachers, and including a bunch of other stuff like writing on shirts and just being a bad kid in general, like in a lot of different ways, they decided that when usually they would, when the kid does something wrong, they call their parents or they send you to the office. Like that's like the big bad thing. If you're in class and you do something out of turn or you're distracting the class, the teacher says, stop what you're doing. Do you want to go to the principal's office? And you're like, no, I don't want to go to the principal's office. And then they're going to be like, well, don't do it again. And then you do it again. And they're like, all right, get out of here. And then you're supposed to go to the principal's office. And then at the principal's office, I know this process really well. You go to the principal's office and then you sit there. You sit there in the lobby. The secretary, they say, oh, so what are you here for? Oh, I was told to go to the office. Uh-oh, you must have been bad. And so you sit down and then you wait. They say, the principal is in a meeting right now and he's going to get to you in a second. Okay, and so you sit there and then you wait. Principal comes out. You go into the principal's office. You talk about whatever the situation is. They've called and already told the principal what's going on. And so you have this conversation. Then you get to, they usually give you like some sort of decision where it's like, do you want to go back to class and stop being bad? Or do you want us to call your parents and you'll have to go home? And this was the process. Now, I went through this process a few times, but I had gone through this process so many times that they stopped doing the process. I immediately went from, okay, in the classroom, go to the office, to we're just calling your parents and telling them to pick you up. Like that was it. That was the immediate suspension. Like I didn't even get, like there was no pass, go, no collect $200. It was you go to the office and you go home. That's it. And so my parents, yes. It was expressed to me that they absolutely did not like stopping whatever they were doing to come and pick me up. Like it was them it was my mom, it was my dad. It was sometimes my grandma even subbed in, because it was just so often and so regular for me to get sent home that it was just annoying. It was just annoying. So This is something that my parents had to deal with. And I just, when I think back on it, I'm like, wow, that had to be pretty annoying to have to do that and for them to abandon their normal process. I mean, I don't even get the opportunity to go back to class. It's just automatic, leave, suspended, go home. Now we have to figure out what this kid's doing at home because he just can't stay in school. And so this was the kind of kid that I was. Now, all the while, we're moving to these different places, going to school, learning certain things, getting in trouble. Then we get go to middle school. Well, there's also sports going on during this time. I'm in a whole bunch of different stuff. And so one thing that was always very present and consistent was my mom, no matter what was happening, she wanted us to have some sort of routine. She wanted us to have some sort of structure. So the family, we were always going to, me and my sister at the time, because my brother, he's 9 years younger, so he wasn't around during this and he wasn't really doing this part just yet. But we had checklists. Like if it was, we went into the bathroom, we had a checklist that says brush your teeth, wash your face in the morning, clean your butt, make sure you put on deodorant. This is something that I had to check off, right? And so I would go through, me and my sister, we would both have these checklists, and we were raised with this kind of agenda that we knew that we had. And so until those things that were on the checklist became normal to us. And so this was kind of the process in our lives. And our mom always made sure that we had some sort of structure. Like if we're gonna get up we're gonna go to sleep at this time, and we're gonna get up at this time so that we can do these things during the day. You're gonna make sure that you eat at these points in time. You're gonna make sure you eat these kind of things. And this is just the way that you're gonna have to be. And at the time, obviously, you don't understand these things. Like as a kid, you're just like, I'm gonna check this thing and check this thing and check this thing. And all right, so I gotta go do this and I gotta go to sleep. Golly, I just wanna stay up all night and do whatever. But my mom made sure that these things were happening. Despite all of the stuff, all of the direct opposition to what the direction was. And then, fast forward, we ended up in Indiana. It was me, my sister, and my brother. We ended up in Indiana, and now my mom, who, they were doing it was a team effort before. Now she's doing the solo thing. She's a single mother. And so she's trying to raise a high schooler that's about to graduate, a 8th grader moving into high school, and an elementary schooler, all at the same time, all juggling these three, because these are very important times in life and very much different. And so she's just getting beat down, bogged down by all of the stresses of dealing with these 3 kids. And now I had gotten a little bit better by this point in time, but by this point in time, I was doing new things. I wasn't necessarily getting in trouble in school where I'm, making noise in class or, running around or whatever. Now it's more so I just am not doing what the people want me to do, and I'm just doing other things. just in general doing other things. I just figured out the things that I'm interested in, and I'm doing those things instead of whatever the school is requiring. And so my mom, during this whole thing, she's just making sure that I get to everything on time. She's making sure that I always have food and I always have clothes. She's making sure that whatever I'm doing, it's structured enough for it to still benefit me. And I'm also being disciplined during this time so that I can learn certain lessons and learn that some things aren't for me. And during this time, when you get disciplined or when you go through these certain things, you don't really realize how much it is for you until later on. I've realized that my mom, how about this? It's 1 Corinthians 13, 4-7. It says, love is patient, love is kind. It does not envy, it does not boast. It is not proud, it does not dishonor others. It is not self-seeking. It is not easily angered. It keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always preserves. When I think about the way that I was brought up, when I think about who I am today, I can't help but think, and it's not a question, it's a fact. My mom showed so much love. My parents, but my mom showed so much love through this entire process of me getting to this point that I'm still realizing the actual benefits of my mom actually being my mom. It's crazy to think, like, and I know you might be saying, like, okay, well, Martell, that's just what a parent is supposed to do. I get that. But a lot of people don't have that. I know that my mom loves me. I know that my mom loves me. And I say that, when I say that, you got to understand, like, this is something, because I've also had time to, like, get to know her much better and, understand her background, because I'm not saying that she was absolutely perfect. I'm not saying that, like, we didn't have any issues ever during that time. But the thing is, I've gotten to the point where I've been able to see her, understand a good amount of where she's coming from when she said something, understand why she did the things that she did. And I'm continuously realizing that this woman has showed so much patience, so much kindness, and has been so selfless. And this whole act of parenting, that it's like, this love is truly, it's truly love. In the Bible, when you translate the word love, and to the King James Version, it's charity, and then you translate that word back to Hebrew, that word means, it is translated to the word agape. And so this agape love is the love that God shows to us. He gave his only son that died, was buried, and resurrected for us, for our sins, even though we were still sinners. This love that is completely unfailing, this love that is unconditional. I feel like there's a big piece of that. And I feel like the best example that I have of that is the love that my mom has showed us. The love that my mom has showed me, my sister, and my brother. And my brother's, he's at the age where he's not going to understand it yet. He's not going to fully see it. But when I have conversations with my mom, I try to be, now being this age, I try to be the best that I can, because I now understand, okay, wait a minute, you've done a lot, Mom. Now, I'm not at the point where I can just completely, and she's also too strong-minded and independent for this to happen, but I'm not at the point where I can just, cash her out. Mom, don't do anything. Don't worry about anything. I got you, period. But that's when I think about what love is and the love that has been shown, I can't help but want to return in some way. I don't really think that people understand what love is. Think about a relationship that you have. Do you find yourself, or have you seen, or have you heard from a friend, because, I know this wouldn't be you, but have you heard your friend doing something intentionally against who they're dating, the person that they're dating? They're doing something deliberately that's going to bother that person on purpose. That's the whole intention of them doing this thing or saying this thing. They did it to bother this other person. Have you ever heard of the reasoning for this kind of thing? We laugh it off. We know, you shouldn't do that. Don't do that. That's bad. But one thing that we don't do is really push onto these points and realize that that's not showing love. And the more you do little things like that, they're like little stabs at people. When you do more and more and more and more of this kind of stuff, they begin to separate that relationship. That person moves further and further away from you, because these little pricks that seem funny when something major happens or when a major argument happens, that's when these things will come back up. You always doing this. You always saying this. You always pushing you always. So it's like, don't think that these things don't add up. And don't think that you are still showing love to this person when you do that kind of stuff. Love is patient. Love is kind. Love doesn't hold up enough pride to be carrying something that someone did so long ago to bring it back up later just to point the finger at them when they've done something similar again. How many times have you heard, and I hope this doesn't happen to you, because I mean, it is absolutely terrible. But when you've done something, you messed up, right? And you've apologized for it, and you've moved past this thing, but this person won't let go of this situation. Now, I understand that it might be still hot, it might still sting, right after it, or depending on what it is, it might be for a bit of time after it. But for that person in the relationship on the opposite side, for them to be bringing this thing up and bringing it into the present every time something happens, that is not showing love. That is literally toxic. That is literally toxic. That's going to blow up the relationship and completely destroy it. And not only is it going to destroy it, but it's going to destroy it in such a way that it can't really be recovered. Because the only way to drive out hate is with love. I think we go in the wrong direction. We misrepresent what love is when we just use it all willy-nilly. Like, I love everything. This love that I'm talking about, this agape love, is not one that is going to, this agape love doesn't have pride. This agape love isn't going to attack you to make you feel bad about yourself. This agape love doesn't just fade away because someone said something that maybe offended me a little bit. This agape love is on a completely different level. And when we just throw it around, that might show that we have a misunderstanding of what it is, but it also misleads other people who heard it. And it could lead someone else to be hurt by it. The word is just thrown around way too much. Think about it. Like, it's just, how can you, I'll put it like this. And I put this in a tweet before. Love ain't a feeling. It's a decision. You might be in love. You might feel in love, but you got to understand that that's a feeling. Love is a decision. Love is something that's continuous. Love is something that keeps moving on. Love is love is what keeps you going, although the storm is coming from this person. Love is the thing that makes you give someone a hug after they threw the banana peel on the ground and you slipped on it. Love is the thing that makes you still get the best Christmas gifts for the kid, although he got suspended 3 times in the school year. Love is something that only comes from God. Can't come from anywhere else. And the only way to drive out hate is with love. I really just want, it's my absolute hope that we start to take the word love, we start to take love more seriously. We sometimes don't show it, as much, one person to another person. Or, maybe someone moved away and, there's more distance, communication started to fall off, but you still love that person. When they come back, it's just the same thing, the same energy. But it's not something that's just here today and gone tomorrow. When you love somebody, when you truly love somebody, it shows. Galatians 5:22 through 23. But the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, forbearance, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. Against such things there is no law. One thing that I hope we understand is that the fruits of the, so you got your mind, you got your body, you got your soul. You got your soul, your spirit, you got your mind, okay? Well, no, we got your soul, your spirit, and your body, okay? And so these things are attached. These things are one, but different. Now, your body, your flesh, like you as a human, you're the human from the dirt part of you. That's going to want to do certain things. The fruits of the flesh are going to want to do things that please the flesh. Meaning I, eat whatever I want to eat, sleep whenever I feel like sleeping, wake up whenever I feel like waking up. Don't do anything that's uncomfortable. That's what the flesh wants to do. That's what the body wants to do. The spirit wants to do what God wants to do. The spirit wants to be patient with people. The spirit wants to have self-control. The spirit wants to have joy. The spirit wants to love. And so it's up to us to decide which one we're going to listen to. Because the spirit's going to do the right thing. It's almost like you can use the whole analogy of the devil on the shoulder, like the angel, and you got the devil on one side. The flesh is saying, eat that next donut. The spirit is saying, look, self-control is what you're made of. You don't need that donut. You already had one. You see what I'm saying? So making the decision to take up, to fully be what the Spirit calls you to be will help you to be who God created you to be. And these things, it's a decision because you can easily choose to be lazy in your love. You can easily choose to, gossip about people behind their back. You can easily choose to just be upset. And when you feel it, like immediately when you feel it, you can choose to hate on somebody and tell them about it or not tell them about it and do it secretly or to your little group. It's easy to lack patience with other people. It's sometimes like I train people and I teach on like media things, and a lot of times I deal with people who they learn something or you show them how to do it step by step, walk them every A through Z on all the steps on how to do something. Like you literally stand next to them, babysit them through the entire thing, and the next time they come in, they don't know it. I show love by, okay, yeah, no problem. Let's just go over what we went over last time. Let's try it again. No, don't worry about it. Let's just try it again. It'll come back to you. Love should be a part of us. Love should exude out of our being. Love is not boastful. Love doesn't feel bad and think less of myself because you're winning. Love doesn't, I don't love you less if you beat me in something. Love in a lot of ways and a lot of times ends up being one-sided, because I think, true love is that agape love. It can end up being one-sided if, the other person isn't feeling or isn't acting in the same way, if it's not mutual. But it has to be self-sustaining. It's not true love if it's dependent on the other person in the first place. I am so grateful and so thankful for all the people who have helped me out, who have shown love to me and continuously show love to me. It's hard, because in my home, we weren't telling each other we love each other all the time, every day. Like that, you know, as a kid, I think it was more frequent, but as we got older, it became kind of like a lost thing. So it's like a rarity. If somebody's going somewhere far away, you want to tell them you love them just in case type deal. So people today will, you know, tell me that they, you know, I love you. And, you know, I hesitate, but then I say, okay, let me think about it. I do love this person. And now I have to say it, then I say I love you back. But I don't feel obligated to say it. Sometimes I do. I feel pressure to say it sometimes, but I care enough about the word and I care enough about the people to make sure that when I say it, I mean it. And I hope that we all do. People, this has been a King's Journal. Again, my name is Martell. Thank you so much for being here. I do appreciate you spending your time. Please do not forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Please don't forget to hit that notification bell. And if you're on Facebook, please on Facebook, share the post, share the episode, go on Instagram. I want you to do all of it. Go to Instagram and make sure you go ahead and follow too. Do all of it. But first thing, since you're on YouTube right now, I need you to subscribe. And with that being said, I appreciate you for being here and I hope to see you next week. Peace.